Yo, what's going on, everybody? Welcome back to the Charlie Mike Show. As always, I'm your host, Raul, and your co-host, William.
Yo, what's going on, y'all? Welcome to the Charlie Mike Show, coming to you from the Paraland Podcast Studio just south of Houston, our little home away from home.
What's going on, man? What you been doing?
Hey, man, life is good. I'm blessed, brother.
Yeah.
It's crazy, bro.
It is crazy,
July has been crazy.
Hey, bro. This shit's working.
Yeah, it is working. We got folks coming into the studio. We've got guests lined up for the podcast. We did live events here, the 12-hour live stream. Just classes coming out of the wazoo. Lots of connections.
Definitely.
Traction.
Man. Definitely.
Cool.
I'm excited about it. I'm excited about everything. Everything we got coming up, everything that we've got going on currently, and I'm back in the gym.
Yeah, man, I'm proud of you, bro.
Oh, and this is the UT. Where can they get
That's right. At CharlieMikeMilitaryApparel.com. That's the smile tee.
Yeah.
He's like, hey, bro, what do you think about this logo? And I'm like, I don't know, man. Then look at it again. It's like, you know what? I'd rock it.
Yeah. So y'all be sure to check that out at CharlieMikeMilitaryApparel.com and buy one or 10.
Fit out your whole crew. Yeah, man. I like that. And I think, we've got we got the Hope Dealer on there too. We're steady. We were just talking too about getting new designs out. So it's coming along. Trying to manage all these things.
Definitely. It's fun though, man. Most part. Anyways, so we got a guest in the studio.
We
as
do.
Most of y'all can see. And the guest that we have in the studio is Robert Mata. Where's your family from, bro? Mata.
Originally from the Valley, man.
The Valley? Because I know a couple of Matas around here.
Okay.
Yeah. And it's not a too common name.
No, not too common.
Yeah.
And most of it that I know of, like I said, they're all from the Valley.
Yeah. Oh, so this is Robert. Robert is a veteran Army, correct?
Yes, sir.
Yeah. And he's in law enforcement now. So we wanted to have him on the show and just, talk a little bit about just life in general. Now, Robert and I met on Facebook through a mutual friend.
Yep.
And I followed his story and he's followed mine, and we've developed a friendship during this time.
Oh, okay, cool.
Yeah, so it's cool, man. It's good. And not to mention, he's a big Astros fan, bro.
Yeah, even better.
Yeah, so
They've been rolling lately.
yeah, so we click on that also. So, man, tell us a little bit about yourself, brother.
Yeah, tell us about your upbringing, man. I'm curious. What brought you into the military?
Let's see. Well, I grew up in a small town. It was about 1,300 people.
Dang.
Literally a small town.
Yeah, that's my high school, bro.
Yeah.
That's my
Yeah.
high school
Well,
size.
see, it's funny because that's actually my high school. Because after my sister graduated, we moved to McAllen. Because that's where my dad was working, and he was tired of driving an hour back and forth. So, we moved to McAllen. Went to middle school and high school there. Graduated and went into the military. 9/11 happened. I graduated in 01. 9/11 happened in 01. I spent a year in Fort Sill just doing stupid base security. And then went to Afghanistan in 05, 06, and still the funnest year of my life. People look at me like, what? Yeah, dude, that was the funnest year of my life.
Yeah.
It was a vacation.
You definitely got to be a different type of person to be able to say that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
No, what's funny though is like, okay, so we were getting ready to go, right? And one of my corporals comes up to me. He's like, he had just been to Iraq, and so he's like, "I'm gonna give you a secret, Mata." He's like, the secret to having a good year and enjoying it is like just that, just enjoy it. Have look at everything with positive. And I'm like, dude, how the hell am I supposed to be in Afghanistan and enjoy myself, right? Like, that's kind of like an oxymoron almost.
Yeah.
But, as I got there, and, I still remember the first day rolling out the gate there in Bagram, and I look around, I was like, man, this is culture shock. Like, the best way I could describe it was, man, it made Mexico look rich.
Yeah.
And, as time went on, I was like, man, now I understand what he meant by enjoy it. Because I enjoyed it. I enjoyed the shit out of it. Like I mean, you know, my 365 days that I was there, I mean, not a day. I wouldn't trade a single day, but
Man, that's what's up. You know that you say that it resembled a richer Mexico. I felt like I've said that before about Iraq though. Like you know, looking around and people are like, hey, well, you know, I said, no, this looks just like Mexico, and it smells like Mexico. But the only time I remember being in Mexico is when I was like little. But like I don't remember nothing. But you never forget the smell. You know what I'm saying? And then I remember being stationed like in El Paso, and you could see Juarez right there, and just it's like night and day. You could have said that we were there.
yeah.
Yeah.
You know what's funny is I just think when you think about that time, like it was simple, you know, like a lot of the things that we went through, it was like day to day, enjoying the life, enjoying the moment. Like and it was, we can't look past, you know, our return dates. You can't look past your leave date. You're just like, I just got to go get through this day, through this mission. So for us, it was like the ultimate, like live in that moment, and enjoy that, what you have. And then when you look at the time that we spent there, like you guys mentioned Mexico, it was like their culture, you know, very family orientated, you know, making bread for each other. Like that was like the best, bro. Eating their bread, like warm, and it felt like home.
Yeah.
like a tortilla, man.
That reminds me of one time we were in Ghazni. Because I was actually right there in Ghazni Fob, and we were rolling through Ghazni, and I remember the first time they're like, "Hey, you want a hamburger?" I'm like, "Hamburger? Yeah, I'll take a hamburger, right? You know, why not?" Well, when I get it, it's not a hamburger like you're thinking. It's just like it's almost like two tortillas put together, and then the meat inside of it.
Yeah.
But it doesn't even look like a hamburger. It looks more like what the heck is it called?
Pita?
Yeah, kind of like that. I was like, this ain't no damn hamburger. I was like, you know what? It was good though, so I'll give it that.
We ate dinner one time with the Iraqi army. Some of the guys from the Iraqi army when we were on one of the fobs, and man, you know, we sat down and ate, and I was like, oh, this is good. But you know, of course, we didn't want to eat too much because you know, our bodies are different than what they are. Bro, that's the worst gas I ever had in my life, bro. And I was gunner.
That whole truck.
Yeah. It was, I felt bad for them boys. He said, man, did you shit on yourself? That's crazy. That's funny, man.
Yeah, it's crazy how good some of that food is over there.
Yeah. And then thinking, you know, you don't like, okay, I don't know. I want to say this, but I don't want to sound too crazy. I don't remember seeing no fat people.
Oh yeah.
No, there's not.
Yeah.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
Now that you mention it, no.
Yeah.
You know what's funny? It brings me to the
Is it-
you know, we've had different guests
Obese-
on. You
I'm
know,
sorry,
obesity.
I can't
Yeah.
say. Yeah, turn it. Yeah.
Yeah. It brings me to some of the other guests we've had on to talk about health and stuff, and like they're very like live off the land, you know, raise your own cattle or goats,
Goats.
you know, and it's like some of the stuff that we're introduced to now they don't have.
There's a lot of stuff.
Oh yeah, for real. So you spent a year there, and you talked about 9/11. Can you share that story with us a little bit? What was 9/11 like? You said you were a senior, right?
No,
you had just graduated.
Yeah, I just graduated, and I actually remember that day. I mean, like I'm sure y'all do. I mean, I was pulling out of my subdivision that morning because my girlfriend, she was a senior that year, and so I was picking her up to take her to school. And we actually lived across the street from each other, like the main street, and her subdivision was on one side, mine was on the other. So I was literally about to pull out of my subdivision when my best friend calls me. He's like, "Hey, bro, we just got hit." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" He's like, "Yeah." He's like, "You know, we just hit the Twin Towers." I was like, well, "What are you talking about, right?" Because I mean,
Doesn't make any sense.
yeah. So he started telling me what was going on. He's like, "You just put it on the radio." I was like, "Well, I'm getting ready to pick up Steph right now, but you know, I'll put it on and you know, I'll listen to it while I'm taking her to school." So, you know, I put it on and I'm starting to listen to it, and I pick her up and take her over, and I'm like, "Dude, like, what the hell's going on? Like, this just didn't make sense to me still. And so, I drop her off and I go home and I put the TV on. I'm like, damn. But it's crazy because, I can picture exactly where I was when he called me on the phone call. And, I was, turning onto the street and it's just, man, I can feel myself sitting in that car in the driver's seat. And, yeah, I remember shortly after that, I was sitting in dinner with my parents, my sister, my nephews, and everybody. And it was funny because I'm sitting at the one end, my dad's sitting at the other end, and my phone rings, so I answer it, right? And it was one of my sergeants. And I just start throwing information at him, my social, everything. And everybody's looking at me like, what are you doing, right? Why are you giving somebody your social? Why are you giving somebody all your info, your address and all this? And I hung up, and my dad kind of already knew. And he's like, oh, there's only one reason why, And I remember that very distinctly. It's crazy little moments like that you remember.
So that was that day?
No, it was shortly
okay.
after. Yeah, it was shortly after.
So you were in the service, or you weren't in the service yet?
Yeah, I was already.
Oh, you were already in. Dang. Yeah, man. Shit. What made you want to join?
It had always been a childhood dream of mine to actually be an Air Force pilot.
Oh, okay,
Yeah.
okay.
Always wanted to fly the F-16s.
Top Gun?
Yeah. Yeah, Top Gun, of course. But I'd always wanted to fly the F-16s and then eventually the F-22s, right? But, at the time, the Air Force wasn't taking anybody with, that your eyesight had to be 20/20. So
Right.
It killed my dream, killed it. And so I was like, all right, what can I do, right? And so my best friend, he's like, hey, man, why don't you try the Army? He was, you know what, go for it, let's do it. So that's how I ended up in the Army.
So when did you join?
I joined in 99.
Oh, okay.
So I was in the National Guard for a little bit. In 99 is when I signed up, and then, like I said, I graduated, and went to basic and everything. Then 9/11 happened.
Whoa.
Dang.
That's interesting.
Yeah, that's.
So when the towers fell, you were still in the National Guard?
Yes.
And okay, so a couple of days later, you were talking to your sergeant, and he was getting ready. You were getting ready to go active duty, or?
Well, he was asking me because, the way the battalion was broken up, I was in one company, but we had our Alpha company was actually getting ready to go to Oklahoma. That's how I ended up in Oklahoma for a year. They were getting ready to go to Oklahoma to do base security or post security there, and I was like, yeah, I'll go. I wasn't part of the company, but heck yeah, I'll go. Why not? So I ended up going, and that was that. And it was interesting.
So you joined the Army. When you joined the Army, was there what do you remember that moment or that day? Do you remember like everything? Like kind of like I know people are like, the day you went to see the recruiter, did it all happen fast?
I honestly, it's kind of weird because I don't remember a lot of it. Like I don't even remember going to MEPS.
Yeah.
I know I went, but I really don't remember, and it sucks because I don't know if it's just something I didn't really, it wasn't a big memory for me, so just like whatever. Like it wasn't a big deal for me. Like some people, I'm going into the military. I don't know if it was just that or, like you've seen, 5 years ago I had my motorcycle accident. And ever since then, it's kind of, there's several memories that I just don't remember.
Yeah.
There's several moments where it's like, what? Okay. Like, I just can't remember it. And it sucks. It's a horrible feeling. Being told something and then like, you're like, no, like I never did that. Like, yeah, you did. I was like, oh crap. Like, wow.
And it was pretty bad from what I remember.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah. I honestly shouldn't be here right now. That's how bad it was. I was in the hospital 4.5 days. On some air support for 2.5 days. And I don't remember a single second of it. Even I honestly don't even remember leaving the hospital. That's how crazy it was. Like I just.
It's interesting. It reminds me of my injury from 2017. You know, I think I had a pretty severe TBI, and I think about that. Like, there are some things that I don't remember from childhood or even before when I was in the military, and I'm like, is that by choice, right?
Yeah.
Is it because of or is it because like there was actually something wrong
I know
in my brain?
No, yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
I feel
I
that.
hear.
Yeah.
And so it's just like I remember, like I always. I mean, I don't know about you, but I wish I could remember because I don't remember getting on my motorcycle.
Yeah.
I don't remember the accident. I don't remember anything. You know, about 2 hours prior to my motorcycle accident, the last thing I remember. And so I've always questioned, like, why? Like, why can't I? But, you know, my dad tells me, he's like, you know, some things just, you're just better if you don't know.
Right.
And, I mean, that's the way I've kind of had to look at it. And for, like, the first week and a half, man, I hated life. I was pissed off at the world, pissed off at God. I was at the point where I was like, why am I here? Right. Like, why'd you save me?
And so what we're talking about now is you suffered, you had this is after the military, correct?
Yeah.
You had an injury 5 years ago. It was a motorcycle accident, and that's heavy. Because I can relate to that. I ride.
Yeah.
It's been a few months, but I ride. And can you describe what that experience has taught you? Like, I'm sure. I mean, now you can look back at it, like you said. I'm sure, right in the moment, it was very difficult to get back and being angry. But you know, can you share a little bit about that appreciation for life and what it's like now?
Yeah, actually, I mean, that's actually where I was going to go with it because I love telling my story. I love, love telling people about where I was and where I am now and just the whole process of getting from A to B. Because, I mean, just because you're in one location doesn't mean, or in one situation doesn't mean you have to stay there your whole life. And for me, I was in a very bad spot. I don't like to admit this, but I didn't have a place to stay. I was staying in a little studio that I had rented for my girlfriend so she could have her little dance studio or whatever. And so I didn't have a home. Like I had a job, right, but I didn't have an actual home. And, I had my accident. I still stayed there for 5 weeks. But like I said, that first week and a half, I hated the world. I was pissed off at everybody. I wouldn't talk to anybody. And like I said, I was so mad that I'd even question God. Why am I here? Like, why'd you save me? Why didn't you just let me die? Mm-hmm. I don't want to be here. And then I honestly don't even know what clicked. But it was just like, you know what? I don't know why I'm here. I don't know why, I was saved that day. But he's got a purpose, And when that time is right, he'll I'll know what that reason is. And so I just, kind of left it at that and just kind of, put more faith into God. And, I'm not the most religious person in the world. I don't go to church every Sunday, every Wednesday, every day or whatever. I don't pray every day. But I can tell you, I probably have more faith than 95% of people that do go to church every day or, every Sunday. And because I know it's because of him, I am where I am and I have what I have. Yeah, I work for the money that pays for it. But at the end of the day, I wouldn't have it if it wasn't for him. I remember that first year in 2018. If you had told me, in 4 or 5 months you're going to be here, I'd have looked at you, laughed in your face, and be like, there's no freaking way. Heck, if you had told me, in 5 years, what's this, a couple months, I'd be where I am today. There's no freaking way. Because I didn't see it. Mm-hmm. But that year, I remember, I ended up getting a good job. I got back on my feet. I ended up getting a brand new truck.
I saw it, man. I thought about stealing it a couple of times.
Oh, no, this is my new one. This is actually my third one in 5 years.
This one right here,
which is another
yeah,
blessing.
yeah. I
It's
like it.
Yeah, and so it's like, just all the things that have happened, whether it be little or big. It's like, man, it's just like I remember we went to the car dealership to get the 2019 Colorado that I'd first gotten, and I cried, man. I looked at my dad. I was like, man, is this really happening? It's like, because my credit wasn't the greatest at the time.
Yeah,
I wasn't in a very good place, and I was just like, man, like, wow, like, heck, even thinking about it now, just like, I get emotional because it's like, man, like, it's crazy how, you get blessed so much. And like, I always say it, like, I never asked for it. Not once have I ever asked for anything. But, he continues to bless me more and more. And it's just like, man, like, how can you not be thankful? How can you not, have faith in him and just praise him with everything you have? And, that's all I can do. I mean, just everything I do, I have a little girl, and I hope she, she grows up the same way and just, is thankful for everything that she has.
Well, here's one thing I can tell you: they watch you, and we talk about it a lot on different episodes and podcasts. And it's, as long as you keep exhibiting that, she'll see it. Because I mean, obviously, Raul sees it, and we only see a part of you.
That's my bad.
Freaking Raul.
That's my bad.
and so we only see, that one part of you, and we can tell how, grateful you are. And I'm really glad you came on to share all that with us. It's been
Yeah, we've been meaning to link up, man.
Yeah, I've come to town a few times, and man, you
that's
know what?
twice, bro.
I don't know what that
Bro.
was, bro.
I told you earlier, but you're fired. That's it.
I'm just dropping everything that's in my pockets right now.
I am in awe right now.
Well, yeah, we've been meaning to link up. I mean, I come over here shoot all the time, at least 5, 6, 7, 8 times a year for the Astros games. And
Yeah.
we'd never linked up, and finally yesterday he commented on my post. And I was like, you know what, I've got time. I'm gonna go hit him up.
Good.
Roll by the studio and check it out. And
I told him I saw yesterday. He posted, I'm in Houston, or he checked into one of the
yeah, I checked in one of the hotels,
Yeah.
and I was like, home for the night.
I was
Yeah.
like, oh, gotta get him.
Yeah.
I'm glad you came out, man.
Yeah, man, yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what's interesting is this is the first time that we've had someone that not one of us really knew personally come on the show.
Yeah, I mean,
know?
this is our first time meeting each other in person.
Yeah.
We've communicated on the phone a couple times.
cool.
We've, through Messenger, of course, and through Facebook, but we never knew each other personally.
You know, it's funny though, but with social media, I feel like I've known you a lot longer.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
Like it
it's-
doesn't
I
feel
mean-
like this is the first time we're actually meeting.
For real.
And it's just,
Yeah, I thought I was gonna be nervous coming in. It's like, man, like, I don't know this guy. Like,
it puts the lotion on its skin.
Yeah.
You thought it was gonna be some type of serial killer.
Yeah, I mean, we've had guests come on that we weren't like friends with, but I mean, I didn't know crap about you. He's like, nah, man, it's my friend. He's coming on. I'm like, all right, let's do this. We're gonna wing it.
Hell
Perfect.
yeah.
and sometimes that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. No, man, I appreciate you sharing that story. Raul and I talked about this too, and we talked about it on a past episode. How Raul and I, we don't talk about being sober a whole lot of the podcast, even though we are. And I think it's the same path when we talk about faith, or our religion. Like we don't talk about it on, not unintentional, but it just doesn't come up in conversation.
Right,
so,
right.
it's a kind of, we all have different beliefs, but since the subject is breached, I feel like wherever you're at in your life, your faith matters to you.
Yeah.
Like you've got to have. It goes back to that hope. You've got to have something to strive for. You got to believe, and there's more meaning than just me living this life, chasing a paycheck. You know, and it's like unfortunately sometimes it does take an accident like that to put it all into perspective.
Yeah, and it's like it goes back to Aaron Lewis's song "Everybody Talks to God." We were actually coming up here, and that song came on. I was like, man, that song has so much truth to it, because in the end, like he says, in the end, everybody talks to God. Whether it be you're cussing them out for taking a loved one too early, or you're on your deathbed and you're like, please help me. At the end, one way or another, you're going to talk to him. You're going to look out to him. And I mean, that's the way I live now. I mean, you gotta put everything into it.
Man.
Powerful stuff, man.
Yeah, it definitely is. I saw you got to take a picture with the World Series trophy, bro.
Dude, that was awesome.
I'm jealous.
Dude, I'm walking right, and we're walking like this, and I just glanced over and I see it, and I'm like, "Oh, detour!" And I was like, "I've got to go." There was no line because it was early, so I was like, "I've got to go take a picture." Hell yeah! Like that's freaking awesome.
That's what's up, man. That's good shit. I haven't done it yet. I definitely want to. It's on my list. I just haven't. So we were originally supposed to link up at Minute Maid, the season opener.
Yes, yeah,
Yeah,
I
but
remember that.
it was crazy busy, man. There were so many freaking people.
Somebody never answered his text.
Oh man, I was.
Not gonna mention names.
me too, bro.
More than I know, but
It happens, it happens all too often. All too often.
I don't know what y'all talking about. Man, so let's talk a little bit more about. Okay, so you when did you get out?
it was 2007.
2007. Oh, so you did like 9 years?
8 years.
8 years? Damn, I act like I didn't count. I couldn't count. So when you got out in 2008, did you have any issues like transitioning back or did you already know you were going to come back home?
I mean, it's still hard. I mean, even now, I mean, I find myself, better off by myself than, around, a lot of people. Heck, even when I'm around friends, I kind of just sit back and I was serve everybody and just kind of chill out and do my own thing. And it sucks, because you want to be part of the party, you want to be part of the gathering, but, at the same time, you're just so, like, well, who can I trust? Can I trust them? And it sucks to say that about your friends, right? I mean, because they're your friends. I mean, like, I've got friends I've known since high school. We still get together. We still have a group chat on Facebook, and so we still talk, communicate, of the last 20-something years that we've known each other. And, we consider each other family. We don't even say we're friends. I mean, that's, we're all family, but it sucks, going somewhere and not really having that what is it? That, what am I trying to say here?
Like trust bond?
Yeah, I guess
yeah.
Where it's like you can just relax and have a good time.
Yeah. The way you were around the soldiers or your soldiers or
and
friends like that. It's a different type of bond.
Yeah, and I mean, y'all know this. I mean, heck, we can sit here. We've never met. We don't know each other really, but we could probably sit here all day and just chop it up, right? But you're around somebody that hasn't been there, hasn't had that experience, and it's just like it's not the same connection. You just can't do it. And for me, that's kind of been my crutch is just trying to break that, and I'm still fighting it every day and trying to loosen up and talk to people, but it's just so damn hard.
Yeah, well,
On that, man,
you're
let me
here.
tell you, yeah, you're definitely here, and we appreciate you coming on the podcast.
Yeah,
hey,
for sure.
with that, one moment, we're gonna take a quick break and listen to these messages.
Yo, don't forget, this show, the Charlie Mike Show, is brought to you by CharlieMikeMilitaryApparel.com. So make sure you go on there and you support that site. It's what makes all this possible. It's here at the Pearland Podcast Studio. You can visit us at PearlandPodcastStudio.com. Along those lines, what we're having here next week, August 2nd, at the Pearland Podcast Studio, we're going to do a lunch and learn. So if you're unfamiliar, I'm a giant consultant. One of the things that we do here is we help teach tools to you to get better at those leadership, at leading your family, at leading at the workplace. And so between 12 p.m. and 1 p.m., come by the studio. Let us know if you're going to come so we have enough food. But if you come by the studio, we're going to be mindful of your time. We will start at 12. We will end at 1. You'll be able to get some tools that you can implement immediately right here at Pearland Podcast Studio.
You guys, so be sure to check that out. You don't want to miss it. I have the pleasure of attending these lunch and learns, and I learn and I eat. So you guys be sure don't miss it. And come out to that. Now, where were we? I didn't want to.
Oh yeah, no, Robert, you were talking about the transition and we all miss that camaraderie, and you're right. I think there's a lot to say with that. I like to tell vets this all the time. Like, I was just on the phone today with a vet that called me randomly, found my number, and I was like, "Well, what organizations are you part of? What groups do you hang out with?" And he's like, "None. I don't have anyone." I'm like, all right, look, man, you got some work to do. You've got to find, whether it be, I don't know, a podcast that you listen to, or a nonprofit that you're a part of, a group that you can join. The VFWs, the American Legions, they aren't what they used to be. There's always some close to you. We have to find our vets and get them back in touch with us. Like the gap between active duty and that veteran transition, it's difficult for everyone. And, I almost feel like this responsibility as vets now, like I've got to find other vets that aren't connected yet and get them connected. And I feel like you're on that same mission too, bro.
I am, man. A lot of ways, because that's one of the things I always ask veterans. I said, what's your rating?
Yeah.
Why is your rating only that? Let's take care of that. Let's fix that. What organizations are you are you part of? That way, because the more information as a veteran is the more information. What if someone comes up to you and asks you, "Hey, how do I do this?" Well, let me show you. Let me tell you. Let me get you the info. Because I just want, man, and we say this all the time, bro. I just want everybody happy and succeeding, bro. And shit, that's it.
No, yeah, it is. And so, I'm happy you here. I'm curious, that transition between. We talked about you're in law enforcement now. So, what was that like going from or getting into an academy and then doing what you do now?
Yeah, well, it actually started off. I was in Corpus, and actually started off on the corrections side.
Oh, okay.
So I worked there, the jail for 2.5 years before my accident. And for me, it was just like, I wanted to feel like I was doing something again. I wanted to feel like I had a purpose, like we all do. We come back and we're like, okay, what do I do now? Like, I have no purpose now. I wanted to feel like, I still had a purpose, like I was still helping my community. And so that's basically how that started. Like I said, I had my accident. I moved back home for a couple of years during my recovery. I worked at an ICE detention facility, and it just wasn't the same. It wasn't, it didn't give me that same feeling. So, I ended up moving up to San Antonio, like we talked about, and I worked there for about a year while I was going to my Peace Officer Academy to get my license. And after that, then that's when I started, actually doing more law enforcement and trying to hit the streets.
Man, that's a heck of a journey. I feel like a lot of us are on that. I share this often. I didn't know that this was a position I could be in. I started off at a warehouse, went to a nonprofit. And now I'm doing this. I didn't know that was an option, and I'm still discovering myself, and I think that there's a lot of testament to that. So, I appreciate you sharing that. Really, what advice would you have for vets who are looking to get into that law enforcement?
He said, "Don't do it."
I would just say, like they tell you as a kid, just keep reaching for your goals, man. Just don't let anything stop you. If you, like in the military, if just drive on and push through it. It's going to be hard, at times, but just
Charlie Mike.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Yeah. So Chris and I met, and we met through Soldier Hard.
All right.
Yeah. So that's how I met Robert, and Robert is a big fan of Soldier Hard. Yeah, man.
Dude, I'm always bumping him everywhere I go.
So it's funny. It's a circle.
That circle.
Yeah, man. He's good people. He actually got the chance to meet him a couple times. Yeah, he's good people.
Cool.
He's got new music coming out too.
Yeah, I saw that.
We're gonna have to get him back on to come chit chat.
Yeah,
because he was your first guest, right?
He was
episode 2. Something like that.
He was episode 2. Yeah, because all this originated from that song,
Yeah.
the Charlie Mike song. That, you know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
it's,
All right, yeah.
yeah, it's craziness.
It is.
Then I don't, man, it's just
Here
it's
we
wild. Yeah, look at this now.
Yeah. Appreciate you, Jim.
Yeah, man, that's what's up.
Yeah, and it's crazy because, like I said, I'm always bumping him, and a couple of friends of mine, they were also vets, and they're like, hey, who is this, man? Like, who is this? Who is this? And so I told them, and now they listen to him, and so it's like, I mean, like I sent Jeff a message one time. I was like, man, you don't know how much your music helps me sometimes, because we get in that dark spot, we get in that ugly spot, and it's just like, man, like, how do I get out? Like, can I get out?
Yeah,
And so I just listen to his music, and some of it, yeah, you think, how's it gonna help you, right? But I mean, most of it, there's a lot of it. It's just like you listen to it, and you're like, yeah, you know what? All right, just
And
you
there-
might keep going.
There's talent there, for you to be able, for Soldier Heart to be able to explain our emotions in a way that we can't.
Yeah, yeah.
It's not like we're taught these things.
Yeah, yeah. Sure.
It's soft to talk about your emotions, and it's becoming more normalized. But I think, for him, he knows his niche, right? He knows his audience.
Yep.
And you're right. Be able to hear it expressed from someone else, and it's like we talk about on the podcast. Like, man, this person looks just like me, or that story sounds just like mine, and he's making it. He's getting through it, and it's just like, thank you for being able to express what I'm feeling, and I just can't articulate it.
Yeah,
I can't put it into words. What's going on inside all this?
Yeah, I mean, that's a huge downfall I have. And like, I'm always having, ex-girlfriends have told me, they're like, man, why don't you talk to me? It's like, I don't know how. And it sucks like to say that I don't know how. Like, yeah, I know how to talk, obviously, because I'm doing it right now, right? But when it comes to my feelings and my thoughts, like, I don't know how to express myself. And yeah, like you said, man, I mean, that's, it's crazy. You listen to him and it's like he's talking for you. And it's like crazy. It's like, man, like, thanks for that.
One thing I notice about veterans, man, is they're either really like into feelings and talk feelings, or not at all. There's no in between.
yeah.
You're like, there's no in between, bro. It's either one or the other.
Or, no, I believe in that until the ones that aren't about sharing their feelings hear someone else start to share theirs.
Yeah.
Which is why I love that you were, a fueler and I was an infantryman. And it's like, look, we're opposites, but it doesn't mean that either one of our jobs was more important than the other. We both needed to do it. We both had very, sometimes traumatic experiences when it comes to being downrange.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter, we're just, so if I'm able to show a little feeling and love, hopefully that hard ass over there will start to open up a little bit too. And you can see him cracking. It's gonna make me cry, bro. Not on the show, bro.
I don't like this. Nah, but it's funny because and then there's some people where I'm like, I show no emotion, and then there's some people like if I'm dating somebody, I'll say it. So if I'm dating somebody, I may.
We're gonna cut this part out, right?
Yeah. I may share too much emotion, you know what I'm saying? Or none at all. So it's not like, it's either like, look, this is the way I'm feeling. I don't know why the fuck I just told you all that.
I just had to tell you.
Yeah, that's my struggles, bro.
All or nothing. Like, sorry, my bad. I didn't mean to go cold on you.
Yeah, exactly. One day you're saying how you feel and all this other shit. The next day you're like, I ain't texting.
Yeah. That's why that shirt is the epitome of role right there.
I don't know what's going on in here, man.
Well, it comes back to this. Like I told you, it's like, this isn't me.
Yeah.
I don't talk.
Yeah.
I don't at all. Like, this is the first time I've ever done something like this.
Yeah, man.
And it's just, Rose, he's like, man, it's just going to be a conversation, bro. Like, and honestly, that's what it feels like.
Yeah, good.
My nerves or whatever, they stayed, at that first second that we turned on the mic. And after that, it's just been sitting here having a conversation. And it's been cool. I like this.
That's what it's about, man.
Yeah, man.
That's what it's about. We,
You'll reach someone, man. You sharing your story the way you have and being open. I feel like one of the things that I'm curious about is, what do you think about the military? What do you think that's taught you, that's helped you overcome your injury now, or be ready for, law enforcement?
I mean, Charlie Mike, bro.
Charlie Mike.
Charlie Mike. No matter what situation you're in, no matter what what you're looking at, just continue mission, carry on. I mean, push through it, and I remember reading something one time. Somebody's digging and digging and digging and digging and digging, and they're like, man, I'm tired. I'm gonna stop. And what they don't realize is, if they had just dug a few inches more, they would have hit that riches that they were looking for.
Yeah.
Yeah, they call that 3 feet from gold.
Yeah, and I mean, that's just, you got to look at it like that and just be like, what, if I just, there's another one, it's like, I'll quit tomorrow. And I actually just heard this the other day. I was listening to a video, and it's like, I'll quit tomorrow. Or, hey, how am I going to, it was actually, I was listening to Sean Ryan, and it was Rob O'Neill. And
Rob O'Neill.
Killed Osama.
Osama. Yeah.
Come on.
Yeah. I read his book, actually. Well, I did.
Read?
Hey, Fielder.
Yeah.
And that's the end of the show.
Robert has to go. Sorry, y'all.
No, but I was listening to that podcast or whatever, and Rob actually mentioned it. He's like, he was in Buds, and the instructor that was there to kind of motivate them through it instead of being like a hard ass on them. That's kind of what he told him. He's like, if you're gonna quit on me, quit tomorrow. Yeah. Quit tomorrow. And I mean, that's the way you got to look at things. You know what? David Goggins says it too. Just quit. Hey, run that extra, half a mile, or run that extra mile, and just keep pushing on, because you can do more than you actually think. And I got that from David Goggins when I read his book, and it's like, your mind is your weakest. Your weakest thing. That's what's going to hold you back the most.
Yeah.
And if you just keep pushing yourself, and just tell yourself, I'll quit tomorrow. Or
it's crazy, because it's something like with sobriety and being clean. I work the system, I work the program, and it's just for today. I say, how much longer are you going to be sober or clean just for today?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So today is spoken for, and then tomorrow, just for today.
Yep.
So
yeah. I mean, same concept. Same concept. There you go.
I like that.
Yeah, me too, man. And I think, we hit on it a little bit earlier. Oftentimes, so this is for that vet that's out there, man. If you're lost and you've got nowhere else to go, the number is 988, right? If you feel like you're in crisis, the crisis hotline is 988. Simple number. If you've never shared it on your socials, man, do us a solid, man. Put it on your socials, 988. If you're a military veteran, press 1. It's one way we can let everyone know, like, you can call the number, you can text the number, or you can go online and you can start an online chat if you're not, like, there yet. But, I share that because oftentimes what we've noticed is, we were talking about it earlier, Robert, that we lose our purpose, right? And it's like, I think that's one of the things that Rollo and I have always been trying to harp on is, like, find you the next mission. And Charlie Mike, you said it earlier too, because if you can have that drive in you, there's no quit in us. We will not quit. We refuse to quit. And I think that's something that obviously it has taught in us, and through basic training and all of the RMOS training, and then the deployments is like, just for today, one more try, just keep going. But it's because we have that higher purpose. So, if you're lost out there and you have no one else to talk to, you can reach out to the show. But I encourage you, 988, press 1.
Yeah, and if you need any information or any information at all, reach out to us. We are we're
community connectors. So are you familiar with Combined Arms at all?
No.
Cool. We're about to hook you up. So Combined Arms is a massive organization. They have Texas Interconnected. I can't remember how they. Oh, it's the Texas Veterans Network powered by Combined Arms. What they are is they're a platform that allows you to get in touch with other organizations. So let's say you'd come to us, Raul and I, we're community connectors. You'll tell us your name, your email, your phone number, and you're like, hey man, I'm really falling behind on rent. I need some financial assistance. Cool. I'll put in all your stuff. I'll put in a financial assistance request, and they'll send it to an organization that helps with financial assistance. Or if you're looking for a place to go hunting, we'll connect you to that person. Or if you're looking for,
I remember that one.
or if you're looking for disability help, they've got someone in their system that does that too. You know, and then of course, Raul and I, we've had plenty of people on that may not be connected with Combined Arms, and we can connect you that way too because it just feels good. Like I said, we just want you to win.
That's it, man. That's what we're about, bro.
I mean, that's what everything's about. I mean, that's what life's about. You just got to win.
Yep.
No matter what it is you're doing, just
You know how they say the only person I'm competing with is myself.
Yep. Yesterday's.
That's it. Yeah. Trying to be better than I was.
Yep.
That's it.
And that's powerful stuff, man. And you know, this has been a fascinating conversation because I mean, we didn't know which way it was going to go.
No, we didn't. No, I didn't at all. I mean, I came in here like I said. I was like, I didn't know what the heck was going to happen.
Yeah.
I didn't know what we're doing.
Yeah. I'm glad to hear your story and how you're continuing on. One of the big things that we're passionate about, I mean, you hit Charlie Mike right on the head. So can you explain to us, like, let's see. All right, I got time. So my number one question that I love to ask is, of course, Charlie Mike means continue mission, right? Can you tell us what Charlie Mike means to you?
I mean, just don't quit. I mean, you know, me, like I said, I've got a little girl. I mean, and she's the biggest reason I'm here right now. Mm-hmm. You know, we were talking about, briefly talked about it right before the show, about my tattoo. And, you were saying about how somebody had the semicolon or whatever. And it was like, the reason I have it on my right arm is so, somebody who sees it, they know, they can relate. And for me, that's my, she's my biggest reason while I'm here is, you got to find a purpose, got to find a reason to keep driving on. And I mean, that's how you got to look at it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I also think like a lot of time, like false motivation goes a long way.
Yeah.
I mean, it's like I'm gonna make up a motivation right now that I've got, and then we all know. Well, we know because we talk about goals all the time. As you get going, you start to move your own goalpost. You're like, all right, well, you know what? What's something a little bit bigger? And I'm notorious for saying it, man. I didn't realize that. I mean, you have too. Like, I didn't realize I could be here, and now my dreams are even bigger than they were before. Have you had an experience like that too?
I was actually just talking to a friend of mine yesterday or the day before. I don't remember, but he had sent me a message. He's like, "Hey man, what do you think about this?" And I was like, so I called him up. I was like, "Hey, I'm on the road, bro. We can talk." And I told him, I was like, because he's like, man, that he needs to get back into to going to the gym, like you were just talking about how you went to the gym, just start working out again. And I think, yeah, the hardest part is starting.
Yeah.
The hardest part is starting, because after that, you start getting motivated. It's like, yeah, you're not going to see the difference, right away, but the more you do it, the better it feels. And so, I mean, that's, like I said, the hardest part is starting. Once you start, as long as you keep going, you're good.
That's it, man. I love it. I love it.
Start and then post it on socials.
See, I started posting it on Instagram, and I was blocked on Facebook for a little bit, so I couldn't post on it. So, but I'm good now. I'm back. So yeah.
I don't know. I mean, going back, hitting on that real quick, like sometimes I feel like you shouldn't, because
Post.
Yeah, because there's a lot of people out there that they want to see you fail.
I love that shit.
And don't get me wrong, so do I. I love that's my number one. That's my favorite thing to do, is proving people wrong, right? But sometimes it's like you have all those people, and it's just like, yeah, they hope you fail, they hope you mess up, they hope you do something wrong. And it's like, sometimes that can be bad for a person because, man, maybe I can't do it because then it starts putting doubt in you.
You're right.
And so it's
I
a
feel
double-edged sword.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're right. It is double edged. But one of the things, man, where was I? You know, I posted it on my TikTok today because somebody had left a comment and said, "Hey, this is weird coming from a guy with a goofy mustache and earrings."
Oh,
You know?
yeah.
And so, but I posted it on TikTok, and I was like, you know, I got made fun of a lot as a kid, a lot, all the time. Like, seriously, being small, earrings, same thing, right? Always being, and I look at it
8
now.
years old with a mustache.
Yeah, I look at it now, and it's like that time prepared me for this. You know, I can post on socials because none of that shit phases me anymore. Good.
Yeah.
I'm glad you don't like it. Guess what? It's not for you.
Yeah. I'm doing
It's
this
not
shit
for
because
you.
I want to,
Yeah,
man.
yeah. And so you're right. You know, I think do it with precaution. The reason why I say to post it on socials is because then, when Raul posts it, he knows I'm going to comment, and it's going to keep him going for the next
Yeah,
day.
it holds
You
him
know,
accountable.
it's the accountability
Yeah.
part.
Accountability.
You know what I
I
mean?
hear you. And that's what I
And
mean.
then
it's
you
a
wear
double-edged
that
sword.
shirt. Yeah.
Yeah, man. But it's definitely, man. You got to have haters, bro.
No, yeah,
you gotta have
you do.
haters. And you know it's crazy. Sometimes they're family, bro.
Yes, you're absolutely right.
Yeah, and sometimes people just don't like you, and I don't give a shit.
I could care less.
Yeah, when we started this podcast, people were like, man, people don't want to hear you talk. I said, man, I beg to differ. Thousands of people listen every day.
There you go.
So
Feels good.
It is what it is. If you don't like what we say or how we talk, I don't give a.
Change the channel.
Yeah,
Yep, that easy.
too easy. Man, that's what's up, brother. But man, we want to appreciate you coming on the show,
No
man.
problem, bro.
I appreciate you.
So as we're getting ready to wrap up, any last parting shots, calls to action for vets out there that are, you know, looking at you saying, "Hey, man, I'm getting ready to transition. What do I do next?"
I mean, you said it best. I mean, if they don't have that support system around them, you know, reach out to somebody. Reach out to the podcast here. Reach out to your local veteran. There that are local. I mean, that's the best thing to do. Find people with similar similar drive. I mean, because that goes a long way for anything. I mean, life in general. Just you find people that succeed. You hang out with people that succeed. You're going to be successful.
Yeah,
What do they say? You hang out with 5 billionaires, you'll be the 6th.
Yep.
yeah. Man, I need to make new friends, bro. I need to hang out with some billionaires.
Oh, my time has been cut short.
I'm trying to, nah, man. But again, man, we appreciate. Thank you for your service. Thank you for what you continue to do every day, brother. I'm a fan, man. I watch and I follow and
I know,
wanted
and
to-
it's funny because I know a lot of people don't, and this goes for everybody. They don't like your post or they don't, comment or whatever. They see it.
yeah.
They see it. And it's funny because I'll post something sometimes. It's like I'll get a random like from somebody that's never liked anything before. Oh wow, they actually see it.
Reach that person.
And I mean that just shows you everybody's watching.
Everybody.
Everybody's watching at the end of the day.
Not me. We guys, please like my post, guys. Leave a comment.
You guys, if you haven't yet, be sure to check out my guy William on all his daily motivational videos. Follow him on TikTok, IG, and Facebook at Mustache Wisdom. Mustache Wisdom. And if you have any questions, my man William is also doing motivational speaking and speaking engagements. Reach out to him at william@charliemikethepodcast.com and we will square you away. William, you got any closing?
Man, we hit it all. Again, I want to thank you for your time. We really appreciate you, taking the time to come out and see us and sharing with us. You shared so much value. And for you listeners out there, thank you as always for supporting Charlie and Mike. I say this on my other podcast, but if you haven't been told today, you are loved, you are enough, you are stronger than the problems that face you.
And with that, you guys be sure to check out Charlie Mike Military Apparel. If you haven't yet, be sure to come out to the podcast studio right here in Pearland. If you're interested about podcasting, thought about podcasting, you want to find out what podcasting is,
Yeah.
reach out to us. We appreciate you guys. And as always, thank you for tuning in. And Charlie, Mike.
I got one more thing for you, man.
Yeah, go
let's do
for
it.
it.
So right after my accident, I was in the hospital, right? A group of my friends made these bracelets for me, just for my parents, really, to try to sell, just to raise money or whatever. So I've got a bag of them because, they had leftovers. And I've worn this every day since I gave my last one out. I want you to have that, brother.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, man. Oh, shit.
That's humbling.
Thank you, brother.
Yes, sir.
Thank you. I appreciate it, man.
Yeah,
Hey,
man.
and it ain't going nowhere. I'm wearing this one. Ah, dang.
Yeah, and I mean, it fits perfectly. You're not alone, and then, the IGY6. So just,
Yeah. I love it, man. Thank you, bro.
Yeah, bro, for
I
sure.
really appreciate that.
well,
And before I start crying, you guys, thank you for tuning in. As always, Charlie, Mike.
later.